6, and Nepo is going for the Najdorf. Knight c3, a6, he plays it. Gukesh goes for g3, a line that I think he's starting to play a bit more often these days. Bishop comes out, a4, gaining space on the queen side, black castles, bishop comes to g2. Now look at this, all the battle is revolving around the d5 square. That central square is the key square. He brings his knight out, castles, and plays his knight to b4. Notice how two pieces are already looking at d5. Also the queen here, on the mind of black, is to play the move d5 at the right time. Queen comes to e2. Gukesh wants to bring his rook to d1 square in order to stop that move. h6 to stop knight g5, so the bishop can come here. Queen comes out to c7, and Nepo is playing this so quickly. He has deep understanding of these structures, and now he's preparing himself for the d5 break. Usually d5, if black gets it in the right way, it equalizes the position. h3 played, and now bishop comes out to e6. But always it's difficult because here you can see the e5 pawn is under pressure. Like if you play d5, I take, and suddenly this is hanging. So you have to take all of that into consideration. Where to put your bishop now? He goes bishop e3. Suddenly the pressure on e5 is gone, and d5 definitely becomes possible. There's also a possibility to play bishop c4. He pushes d5, takes. And one of the things that Gukesh will get in this position is the b6 square, perhaps, if he can play a5. Although after knight to d5, there are tactics now. Knight d5, Gukesh can play knight g5 to attack here, but he doesn't. He plays the move c3 too quickly. Too quickly played, and now you just take the bishop. Knight takes, queen takes, and that should be better for black. But he goes rook a d8, allowing Gukesh to keep this bishop. So where to put it though? Do you put it here? There are no squares. Bishop d2 played by Gukesh, slightly ugly move. And now a5 clamping down on the queen side, rook e8, bringing the pieces in the center is black. Jan has 2 minutes 32 seconds. Gukesh has roughly 2 minutes. He's going for knight h2, knight g4. These are the positions that Gukesh enjoys, because here he can create some things. Like knight g4 is coming in. You also have to keep in mind some strikes like bishop h6, and then the d5 knight is under pressure. All of this can be happening. And Jan goes pawn to e4, and he's asking Gukesh, do you want to pick up this pawn? Then bishop f5, and suddenly there's a nasty pin here. And also taking this with the queen doesn't work because of bishop h3. I attack the queen, and g2 is hanging. So all of this leads to white now trying to figure his way out of what to do. I think one plan can be knight f1 to e3. You can also go from g4. He goes knight f1. He plays his knight to f1, and Nepo now. Should he go bishop f5? Should he go maybe somehow this bishop on e6 is a bit misplaced. I would have loved to put it on c6. It would be much better placed. And now I think rightfully taking his time here, Jan Nepomniachtchi. His position is great. It's around equal, but you can feel it that it's black who has the initiative. Sometimes this e3 push with the queen looking here, the queen side pawns not really able to move forward. And I think it's for that reason that Jan is taking his time, because he wants to make the full use of what he's having. And bishop d7 played. The same idea to put the bishop either on c6 or b5 even to attack here. Gukesh now can already push the pawn to c4. He does it. He pushes his pawn to c4. He kicks the knight away. That's a good move. And now you have to go back with the knight. And all of a sudden you will see that this bishop opens up. But bishop f4, he's attacking the queen. The queen comes and attacks the h3 pawn. So many weaknesses here. B2, D4 square is weak. The D5 square is weak. Too many things happening. Lovely position for a fighting game of chess. And Gukesh taking his time. He's kind of trying to understand whether giving up this pawn is okay or not. He goes king h2. Knight comes to c6. Lovely move by Yan. He's coming into d4 with his knight. Knight to e3. Knight jumps in. Gukesh has to get a bit passive with his queen. Not really. He goes active. He starts creating some pressure on the king side. And with the knight jumping into d5, that's a big threat. So maybe bishop c6 makes a lot of sense. But he comes back to e6. He attacks this bishop. And now Gukesh doesn't really have a very good idea with this bishop. Also the b2 pawn, remember that's hanging. What to do with so many things happening? Does Gukesh save this bishop? Is there some bishop h6 sacrifice happening? Look at this, bishop h6, g h6, knight jumping into f5. The queen could take here, the knight could take on h6. But Gukesh has just 20 seconds. He goes knight d5. Okay, that's the best move. And now does Nepo pick up this? Because he can't allow knight f6, g f6. Oof, that would be just catastrophic. He takes rook b1 and now takes on f4 attacking the queen. Gukesh is like, who cares about double pawns here? I have got the open g file. Bishop a3, rook b3 attacking the bishop. Bishop goes back to f8. Maybe better was to put it on c5 to put pressure here. Boom! Rook transfers. One attacker, two attacker, three attackers. Oof! What a position this is. And now the only move, queen c6, he finds it to control f6 square so that there are no checks. Now maybe bishop e4 could be a very nasty idea here. But he goes queen h4, eyeing this. Rook maybe threatening here. King goes to h8, knight b6 played. And bishop to e7 attacking the queen. The queen goes back. Nepo had a chance like queen c7, bishop c6, this idea. But he's trying to now trade the rooks. And Gukesh plays f5. Now Nepo should take his time. Rook d1 is an excellent choice. Rook d1, fe6, just go back. Because if rook d1, you take queen d1, I have simply bishop f5. This is winning, but he goes queen c5, a blunder. And now g7 is mate and because he wanted to pin here. The queen just moves, threatening a mate. Gukesh is already winning. Nepo has made a huge mistake. He goes bishop f6, rook takes, rook taken. Takes, and now piece up. He takes on f2. Nepo now has to play for tricks. e7, maybe better was queen e4. But rook e8 played. And now queen e4. Important move. He was about to take it, but he gets attracted to knight d7, controlling e5 square. Takes, knight f6, queen f6, and bishop e4. White is now totally better. g6 played, bishop comes back. But the problem is Gukesh hardly has time, and also his king is a bit weak. Rook f3 first, attacking the queen. f7 pawn under pressure, queen b2. He goes queen f4. The pawn moves to h5. h4 played by Gukesh. A lot is riding at this game. f5. And now rook d3. He wants to enter to d6, g5. Try to create these threats on the king side. King h7. And rook d8. Maybe just get in. He goes rook d6. The queen comes back to g7. Rook to b6. And c5 pushes forward. He goes queen f3. And now leave this pawn. Take on b7. But he tries to defend it. And he loses the most important pawn in his position. That was not a good idea. And now Yan is trying for perpetual, and the position has equalized. Gukesh should have not cared for his h4 pawn there and taken on b7. He would have been completely fine. Oh, mistake. Queen d6. Bring your queen into the center somehow. No, he goes queen b6. It's too much in the corner, but there was hardly any time to think. Check here, king here, check. Bishop goes back, and now it seems like black has perpetual. Look at the speed at which Yan is playing. Is up to 26 seconds. This is why Yan was a feared Blitz player in his younger days. because the speed at which he plays. And you can see Magnus Carlsen in the background waiting to see what's happening in this game. Jan shaking his head there. Gukesh doesn't want the repetition, but I think he will have to accept that there is no win here. King G1, check. Jan making sure he has this entire complex of squares in his control. G5, C1, H4, all of these. Check. And Jan has a smile on his face. He's like, okay, do we need to keep playing this? For how long? Check. And look at Jan's time. He's gone all the way to 52 seconds. Man, that's insane speed. I mean, what a game this was. Absolutely incredible chess by both these players. Check. Queen d2 check, king f3, another check. And I believe Gukesh will have to agree to a draw here. He cannot try anymore. Although he has the trump cards, he has an extra piece, he has the a passer. But what to do? Check. And they agree to a draw there. Jan is like, I was better at some point. Gukesh was like, I was better at some point. And yeah, both had their chances. Both could have won the game. But in the end, it seems like a draw is a fair result. What a fight. A mega fight between these two champions and an absolutely enjoyable game. Let's have a look at the key moments